If you're looking for a pasta recipe that's a little more elevated than your basic spaghetti, you need to make this chicken cacciatore. Start by butterflying a chicken breast, then season with salt, pepper, and oregano. Rub in the seasoning, then sprinkle some all-purpose flour on top, making sure to coat all sides. In a heated pan with some avocado oil and some butter, fry the chicken on both sides until it has a golden crust, then take it out of the pan. In that same pan, fry up some mushrooms, add a little bit of salt, and take those out of the pan as well. Then cook down some yellow onions, minced garlic, and red peppers. Add red pepper flakes, chicken bouillon, the mushrooms, and deglaze with apple cider vinegar. Pour in some strained tomatoes, some chicken broth or water, along with some bay leaves. Add the chicken back to the sauce and let this simmer for about 20 minutes. Take the chicken out of the sauce, then add in some capers along with the cooked spaghetti or linguine noodle. Toss it all together and plate it up. Garnish with fresh basil and enjoy.
Let me show you guys a quick recipe idea, especially for my starving teenagers who come home starving like Marvin because your parents are still at work. Today we're making dinner with your mama's leftover rice. But first, we gotta look in her fridge to make sure she don't got no leftover veggies. We gotta make sure we get rid of those first. And you can also use whatever other veggies you like. But I'm gonna use what I had. So I'm gonna use 1 carrot, half a zucchini, half an onion, 2 garlic cloves, and I'm also gonna whisk up an egg. I'm just gonna put my pan on the stove, making sure that it's screaming hot. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of oil, 2 to 3 cups of the cooked rice, our onions, garlic, and then 1 tablespoon of butter. Then I give it a quick saute for about 2 minutes before making a little well and then adding our veggies. We're gonna season them up with a little bit of salt and pepper and a little bit of sesame seed oil. Now, if you don't have sesame seed oil, you don't gotta add it. Now we add our egg, season it up, making sure that we cook it in the middle first before mixing everything together, else you're gonna have like scrambled rice and eggs. I don't know. And we finish it off with about a tablespoon or 2 of soy sauce, salt, and pepper. We mix again and it's ready. For the protein, I'm gonna keep it super simple. We're just gonna season up some garlic breasts. Ma'am, garlics don't have breasts. You mean chicken breasts. I added scrambled egg to the chicken and then I coat it in some seasoned panko. And that is it. Well, this part is crucial, guys. When you're cooking your chicken, make sure that the oil is not super hot or you're gonna burn the breadcrumbs before the chicken's even cooked. Cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes on both sides until they get nice and crispy. While the chicken drains, I'm gonna make a spicy mayo using equal parts mayo and sriracha. Now it's time to serve ourselves. Add your rice, your chicken, maybe a little bit of garnish, drizzle it with some teriyaki sauce, your spicy mayo, and that's it. You just made a fried rice with a crispy chicken katsu in less than 30 minutes. Hope you like this recipe. Bye!
This is my favorite spaghetti recipe. It hits the spot every single time and it's so easy to make. Let's get into it. First things first, dice up half of a red onion and from there we're gonna saute it until it's nice and fragrant. Next you want to come in with some red and green bell peppers. Cook them down till they're nice and soft and fragrant. From there, come in with 1 tin of tomato paste, fully break that down, add your ground meat of choice. Once the ground meat is about 80% cooked, add 1 tin of crushed tomato, mix it up and then let it simmer for about 30 minutes. From there, season with the following spices and of course, taste and adjust to your own preference. After that, add your cooked spaghetti noodles, give it a nice toss. That's what good pasta sounds like. Add some parsley because of fancy and folks, I'm telling you, this is it.
This wrap has been on repeat lately, so I wanted to share a really quick, easy recipe. So you just char a tortilla. I spread on some Dijon mustard. Sometimes I add avocado at this stage, and then I add on some lettuce and then some sliced tomatoes. These are really sweet. Now that it's summertime, I do a combo of these early girl tomatoes, and then I add some of the sun golds too. Just cut them in half and then make sure to season them with some Maldon sea salt, and then top it off with some turkey. You can use whatever like lunch meat or deli meat you'd like, and then roll it into a tight wrap. I like to grill the bottom side and then slice it on a diagonal, and it's so pretty inside. It's so delicious because the tomatoes are really sweet, and then I just plate it up, add some figs or whatever fruit I have on hand, and that's all she wrote.
I used to think I didn't have a favorite meal, but it turns out I do, and this is it. Remove the tenders from your chicken breast and then flatten it out so it's even all the way through. Season with garlic powder, soy sauce, rice vinegar, honey, salt and pepper, and let that marinate. Season the breadcrumbs with some salt and avocado oil, mix that in, and then start coating the chicken with some flour, eggs, and the panko breadcrumbs. Press it in firmly, and I like to cook this in the air fryer for about 10 minutes. Let that cool, and for the sauce, combine coconut milk, peanut butter, brown sugar, soy sauce, rice vinegar, garlic, ginger. Let that simmer until thick. Cut up the panko chicken, and then transfer it to your plate with some jasmine rice, your veggies, the peanut sauce, and enjoy. Someone said I use too many ingredients in my recipes, so here's a super easy 5-ingredient ponzu chicken recipe. The marinade is just soy sauce, minced garlic, oil, honey, lime juice, a little bit of sesame oil, mix it all up. Let the chicken breast marinate in there for a few hours to overnight, then sear it in a high heat pan. Add salt and pepper and a couple tablespoons of the marinade along with a tablespoon of butter until it's cooked all the way through. I like to serve this with some steamed broccoli and gochujang crispy potatoes. Enjoy!
Hello, welcome to day 5 of Around the World in 80 Eggs, and today we're making good old scrambled eggs. There are a gazillion methods to making the perfect scrambled eggs. Well, for me, I like to crack 2 eggs into a bowl, add a dash of milk, whisking everything well thoroughly, and then heating up a small frying pan on the smallest stove that you've got. Melt some butter and pour in the egg mixture. Now with the heat turned down low, you want to slowly scramble the eggs towards the center, a bit like this. You got to keep going for a couple of minutes. This is the most time-consuming part, but it's going to make sure that your eggs are nice and silky. I like to turn the heat off at this point because I know the residual heat will keep cooking it for a little longer, and then I can just go and toast some bread to serve. Easy peasy.
I have been seeing this spaghetti all over my For You page, so I finally tried it, and y'all, it was so good. Start off by browning a pound of beef, add onions, bell pepper, season it with whatever you want, and then go ahead and add a jar of your favorite spaghetti sauce. Let that simmer for a bit, and then we can start working on our pasta. Today, I'm using the Fasta Pasta microwave pasta cooker. You can measure, cook, and strain pasta all in one container. So while this is cooking, let's work on the Alfredo sauce. Melt a stick of butter, add in a little minced garlic, 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, and 2 cups of Parmesan cheese. Season with salt and pepper, and then let it thicken up. When the pasta was finished, I put the lid on, strained it, and threw it right into my casserole dish. I added my Alfredo sauce, and then I topped it with my meat mixture and added more mozzarella and parsley on top. Bake on 350 for 15 minutes, and then top it with more Parmesan cheese.
This dinner is quick, delicious, and you only need to buy 5 things to make it. Start by heating up your ground beef or ground turkey in a skillet and boil a pot of water. Once your water is boiling, you'll add in some tortellini. Cook according to the package. Shred up some mozzarella cheese. I have this linked on my Amazon storefront, mealsandmunchies.com. You'll then season your meat, salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, and a little bit of crushed red chili flakes. Drain it, add a jar of marinara sauce, and 1 block of cream cheese. Once that's well combined, add in your cooked tortellini. Top this with your mozzarella cheese and bake for 10 minutes at 350 degrees. And follow me for more recipes.
Sesame chicken with fried rice. Let me show you how easy this is to make.
Oh, yum.
Add butter, frozen vegetables, eggs, rice, and soy sauce for your fried rice. To the chicken, you'll add 1 egg, garlic powder, paprika, salt, pepper, and some corn flour. Fry it in some oil until it looks something like this. Let's make the sauce. Garlic, soy sauce, brown sugar, sesame oil, corn flour. The chicken goes back in. This is so good.
creamy Tuscan chicken is one of my favorite meals to eat and to make, so let me show you how to make it. I like to start off by butterflying my chicken and then seasoning it with some salt, a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, some paprika, some oregano, and a bit of black pepper as well. I'm just measuring with the heart with this one. From here, I'm just going to heat a pan with some sun-dried tomato oil. This is really what's going to start building those flavors for us. And then just a drizzle of olive oil as well. Once that comes up to heat, we're gonna go ahead and lay down our chicken and sear on both sides. While our chicken's cooking, let's go ahead and prep our veggies. This recipe has really simple ingredients. We're just gonna split some cherry tomatoes in half and then cut one whole shallot or a half of an onion, whatever you have on hand, and crush a few cloves of garlic as well. We're also going to need an entire bag of spinach for this recipe, and don't forget to wash your veggies. Once our chicken has nice color on both sides, we're gonna remove that from the pan and toss in our shallots as well as our garlic. Go ahead and let these cook for about 3 to 5 minutes until they get nice and aromatic. For a fun addition, I like to add some mushrooms to this dish. They lend themselves really well to the tomatoes and the wine. Speaking of wine, we're going to deglaze the bottom of our pan with some dry white wine before tossing in our cherry tomatoes, and I like to add some of those chopped sun-dried tomatoes as well. Totally optional, but I like to add in some red pepper flakes at this point, as well as a little bit more oregano before pouring in about 1.5 cups of heavy cream. Go ahead and let this simmer and let all the flavors get to know each other before tossing in your spinach. I made a mistake and put my chicken back into the pan at this point, and as you can see, I took it out. So just toss in your spinach first, let those get to know each other, let the spinach wilt down a little bit, add in some Parmesan cheese, and then we're gonna tuck our chicken back into the sauce. Once you get your chicken nestled back in, we're gonna let this cook for another 5 to 10 minutes, either on the stovetop or in the oven, and let the sauce get nice and thick and creamy. We're gonna squeeze some lemon over top to brighten up the dish, and then serve with some mashed potatoes or polenta or rice, but you cannot skip the crusty bread to soak up all of that sauce. I hope you enjoy.
So the first thing that I made in my new kitchen is this creamy, dreamy Alfredo that comes together in under 30 minutes. Basically, if you love your home to smell like garlic and Parmesan, then make this. First thing we're gonna do is melt down our butter, add the garlic, saute it, then add heavy cream, salt, black pepper, Italian seasoning, and just a dash of nutmeg. For my favorite part, we're gonna make it rain Parmesan and then add in some cream cheese, which I was very skeptical about, but then I tried it and I get it. Once the pasta is cooked to perfection, toss it in the sauce along with tons of fresh parsley. Mix that all together, and of course, don't forget to add more cheese on top, and our last step is to enjoy.
Surprise, surprise, I made noodle soup again, but this one literally takes 5 minutes and it's totally vegan friendly and you can customize it however you like. All you gotta do is boil some noodles, whatever type you like, chop up some spring onions, add some sugar, salt, soy sauce, and sesame oil to a bowl, add in some hot water, mix it around, and that's your broth. Add in the noodles, and that's it.